The Bastion Remnants in Minecraft contain some of the best loot in the entire game. This includes netherite upgrade templates, netherite ingots, diamond armor, gold blocks, and much more. But these structures are filled with dangerous mobs that can kill you fairly quickly. But not to worry, because in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to find bastions, loot them, as well as some hidden tips and tricks. First things first, how do we find the bastions? Now these generate in any biome in the nether, excluding the basalt deltas. Now this is because this biome looks very similar to the blocks that the bastions are made out of, which are primarily of different variations of blackstone. So by going ahead and exploring the other biomes in the nether, for example here we're in a crimson forest, you'll eventually run into a bastion remnant. If you want to skip the hassle and quickly find a bastion, you could use chunkbase.com. This is a website where you can put in your world seed, and we're going to go ahead and select the dimension to the nether, and here you can find bastions and it'll give you the coordinates so you can head over to them. Now that you know how to find bastions, there's actually 4 different types, so let's go over each of them. The first bastion we're going to be looking at is the housing units. This bastion can be identified because it has a bunch of ruined structures that are kind of surrounding this little netherwort that is growing in the center. Now you could guess that these are remnants of the beautiful houses that the piglins used to have, and since they are called Bastion Remnants, it would make sense for a little Minecraft lore. And if we go up here, we can actually see that there is another part of the bastion that contains most of the loot chests. Now in these chests, you'll get the general loot that you find while raiding bastions. This includes obsidian, some arrows, some ancient debris, and netherite scrap can also be found here, magma cream, golden apples, and just a bunch of random loot that generates in the bastion. Up next, we got one of the coolest designs for a bastion, that being the bridge. We can kind of make out that there's a piglin face here. We can see the 2 eyes and the mouth, and it opens up into the bastion itself. You'll also find some lava waterfalls, so just be careful not to fall into them, and you can find a bunch of gold as well on the side here, up to 16 blocks. The main loot chests in this bastion are on the sides of the head here. You can get a large chest and a single chest. We got pretty lucky in this chest with a netherite upgrade, and the soul speed book can only be found in Bastion Remnants or by trading with piglins. We can actually go to the other side of the head now and check these chests out. We got a single chest with a piece of netherite scrap, and in the other chest we got the snout armor trim, which can also only be found in the Bastion Remnants. Up next we got the Hoglin Stables Bastion. This one can be identified by having damaged Hoglin stables on either side. You'll also find the Hoglin mob here more than any other bastion. Now the Hoglin stables themselves have some loot chests. As you can see here, we found an enchanted diamond pickaxe. Not the best, but hey, we'll take it. Now if we fly up here, we can see that there is another part to this bastion which contains more loot chests. Now as you can see, similar to the other bastions, we have a double chest here with some netherite and another armor trim and a much better diamond pickaxe. Also, sometimes netherite can cover parts of bastions or even entire bastions. I've seen some before, so you may have to do some digging around to find other parts of the bastion. The last and most certainly the best type of bastion is the treasure room. This one can easily be identified by having lots of lava pools here, so watch where you step, and a bridge above it with some gold blocks, and the main part of the bastion being right over here. Now this bastion is a very high risk, high reward type situation. As you can see in this chest, we have insanely good loot with some diamond spears, netherite upgrades, diamonds, even a netherite ingot. Now the reason I say high risk is because there is a lot of piglins and piglin brutes here, as well as a magma cube spawner that is guarding the main chests. The treasure room is also the bastion where 100% guaranteed you're gonna get that netherite upgrade. As you can see, we go over into this chest and we found another one here. In this bastion, you kind of have to work your way down the different floors until you get to the very good room, otherwise known as the treasure room, where, as I said, you'll find the best loot, as well as a magma cube spawner, which can spawn some pretty big guys, so make sure you watch out for that, as well as a bunch of gold blocks. Now that we know all about the different types of bastions, how do we defeat the mobs that are in here so we can loot these structures safely? Well, let's get geared up here. Although you can wear gold to distract yourself from the piglins, the second a piglin brute attacks you, all of the other piglins are going to come attack you as well. Even if you're wearing gold armor but you open one of the chests, they will also become hostile. So your best bet is to just wear the best armor you have. Pair this up with a bow and arrow with a good sword with as many arrows as you can bring, some building blocks, as well as a shield. Now let's put ourselves in survival and actually show you guys how to loot a bastion. So right off the bat, as we go in here, we can see a piglin brute. They can be identified because they have their gold axes, and we're just going to go ahead and pile up and then just rain arrows down on him until he's dead. And as you can see, the second we attacked one of the mobs in the bastion, we can see the other ones are trying to look at us, trying to kill us. And just be careful if you get caught building up, as the piglin brutes deal a lot of damage and they're one of the most dangerous mobs in the game. So once again, we're going to use our bow and arrow to take these guys out from a distance so we don't have to risk up close combat. I also highly recommend using third person. This will allow you to see enemies where you couldn't see them before. Also, be sure to listen out for these sounds that the monsters make in the Bastions. As you can see, we heard one of them. We're just going to break it with our pickaxe, and this allows us to kill them safely. And do you know what type of Bastion this is that we're looting? Make sure you let me know in the comments. Anyways, keep using that bow and arrow to keep killing all of the monsters that are in the Bastion, making it completely safe for you to loot. Now, I mentioned a shield, but we haven't really used it much, but it's actually very effective with the hoglins. Just go ahead and hold up your shield as you are hitting them, and it's very clutch to have this in the hoglin stables. As I mentioned, it's going to be where you find the most of them. Now we can finally see the chest that we are about to loot, so we're just going to go ahead and take out this piglin brute and the magma cube. Now we can see a piglin brute off in the distance, but this guy ain't going to do anything to us. And now we can finally loot the chest after you've cleared all the mobs. And don't forget to grab the gold blocks, because who doesn't want some free gold? Now I showed you guys how to loot a treasure room bastion, but what if we come across another type of bastion that's out in the open? So just to be completely safe, build an area of cobblestone like this, or whatever building block I guess you want, and make sure you cannot fall backwards from getting shot by a piglin. Then we're going to do the same strategy you've seen throughout the video with our bow and arrow. Just clear out all the mobs, and as soon as you hit one, they'll all come running at you. I can say it over and over again, this is the best method to just flush out all of the mobs, making the bastion a completely safe haven for you. Let's just go ahead and drop down here. It's not going to be that much fall damage with our diamond armor, and you can go check out the loot chest now. Just go in third person if you want to make sure there's no other mobs that are in the area. Now here's some bonus tips as well as some additional stuff I'd bring to loot a bastion. Starting with potions of fire resistance, it's pretty self-explanatory why you'd want to bring these. For example, here we fell in this lava, we can go ahead and splash ourselves, making us immune to the lava. Also, if you have fire protection on your armor, you're obviously going to take a lot less damage to lava or fire. If you have some spare building blocks, using these to mark your path from the bastion to the nether portal is a great idea, as getting lost in the nether is fairly common. And you can also set your spawn point in the nether, and no, please do not use a bed. Instead, we're going to grab 6 crying obsidian with some glowstone, put it in the crafting table, and craft ourselves a respawn anchor. Now if you go ahead and charge this up with glowstone, as you can see on the left side, we've actually set our spawn point in the nether. And let's say you were to die in the bastion, well, you can actually go ahead and grab your stuff back so long as you didn't fall in lava. Now say you want to skip the hassle of using a bow and arrow to clear out all the mobs and you just want to loot it quickly, well, use the potion of invisibility. So long as you're not wearing any armor and you're not holding anything in your hand, you can safely loot the chests in the bastion without any of the piglins or piglin brutes getting mad at you. Now according to the Minecraft wiki, even if you have invisibility on, hoglins can still attack you, so just keep that in mind. Just make sure you don't accidentally hit one of the mobs while you're invisible, because if you do this, they will start attacking you. Now the mobs that are in the bastion that are dangerous, aka the piglin brutes, are actually not immune to lava, so you can just pile up and place a lava bucket down and just take them out fairly quickly. Don't forget that in the bastions you can also find some hidden gold blocks. These can either be fairly obvious, as you can see this one is out in the open, really not hidden whatsoever. Now if we go to this gold block, we can see that it's more secluded and kind of hidden, so just keep an eye out for these gold blocks. And that pretty much wraps up everything that you need to know about the Bastion Remnants in Minecraft. If you went on to enjoy this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing, as it really helps out the channel. And now go loot those bastions. You got this.